Okay, guys, so before we really jump into any of the math learning, first of all, we want to welcome you back. We missed you. We're sorry we're not with you in person, but we're happy to be, kind of jumping back into things and pushing our learning along. And even though it's maybe a little nerve-wracking or difficult to get used to this new learning style, not just for you, but for the teachers as well, I think I can safely say that we're feeling positive today. Because again, we get to be back with you guys and we get to kind of continue on our learning and we get to try something new, which is always fun and cool to try something new. This video is just a quick way to talk about the things we will be using and how you're going to stay organized. So things that we'll be using that you guys are pretty used to using as it is. We're going to use Google Forms often. You're going to have a daily do now with a Google form, and we'll also use Google Forms as a way to just kind of check in and make sure that you're learning the things that we're teaching and that you're kind of understanding what we've been showing you so far. We're going to use Edpuzzle to learn new material. So new topics will be presented through a video, and you'll use Edpuzzle to kind of answer some questions as you go along. And we're also going to use Desmos to practice that new material. And there'll also be times where you're just kind of doing a good old-fashioned worksheet on a separate sheet of paper. So those are all things that we will be doing to learn this way. And so typically for math, you receive packets, and the packets are nice because all of your worksheets and materials and your I can statements are all in that one place. So it's a really easy place to look, to know what we've been learning, to study from, etc. So we would like for you to use a notebook for your daily lessons. Some of you guys may not have notebooks at home, but I'm hoping maybe you could find some computer paper, construction paper, anything that you can just keep all of your math materials in one place. And so on the next page, I'm going to show you the format that you should follow for every lesson. Every lesson we do, follow this format, and it's going to make it nice and easy come time to review for maybe an assessment or a project, that all of your information is in one place. So here's my notebook. I'm going to title every part of my notebook the same. So this is, I thought that was a highlighter. It was not. The title is Week of 327, Lesson Number 1. So that'll be my first title. Tomorrow will be Week of 327, Lesson 2, and Lesson 3, because there will be 3 lessons this week. And I always want you to start with the I can statement. So this is not anybody's I can statement, but it's an I can statement you've done in the past. I can calculate the volume of a cylinder. That way you just know what are you supposed to be doing after today's lesson. And then under that, under the label what week it is, what lesson it is, and what I can statement we're doing, you're going to take your notes. So if this was on cylinders, my note would be a cylinder. It's a 3-dimensional object with 2 circular bases, and then probably the formula as well. These would be things that you would probably get out of the Edpuzzle, out of the video that you watched. So by watching the video, you're going to take notes. And then that day, that lesson, we would probably have some practice too. And even though we are on computers, you have to remember math is not computer based. We need pencil and paper. So anytime there's a practice, you might need pencil and paper to do out your math. And so you would have your notes section for any notes you took that day, and you would label it nice and neat, notes. And then if you had practice that day, you would label it practice. And so I showed here, my first problem was finding the volume. I plugged in the radius and the height, and I got my volume. I even labeled it nicely, no big deal. And so, again, my second problem, I probably would have more than one that day. Let's change this to black just to match. I'd put problem 2, I'd write down my formula, do out the problem, plug in pi, whatever radius I was given, and my height, and then I would just solve. And so that is how you are going to keep yourself organized throughout the duration of our online distance learning. If you need to come back to this video for a refresher at any time, we are going to keep it linked into our weekly planner, because the key to this not being in class is staying organized. We will get you the material, but we need you guys to do your part and stay organized. And like I said, I know this is new for you, it's new for us too, but as the picture shows, I believe in you. See you guys soon for our first lesson.